Hello everyone, welcome to Students Point. This is 26th of July and today we have to see very important questions and each question has lot many explanations, so be attentive and be focused till the end. And to get PDF of all these videos, you can join me on Telegram by writing the channel's name like this. You can also follow us and connect with us on Instagram by writing the channel's name like this. Thereon I post one question on daily basis and many of you has already started following on that Instagram as well. So let's move ahead, and if you are finding these videos useful, don't forget to like the video and share the video with your friends and loved ones. Also don't forget to press the subscribe button and the bell icon to receive all the notification of all the important videos from this channel and never miss any opportunity to learn and grow every day. Let's begin. But first we will see a question. Everyone has to try to answer this question in the comment section. The question is, which state emerged as the country's top investment destination as per the survey of Project Today? And the data is about first quarter of this year, that is the financial year of 2020-2021. So let's see how many of you can answer it. Let's move ahead now. The first question. Which country has been granted observer status in World Trade Organization by the WTO General Council? So it is Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan has got the observer status by WTO General Council, and as such it became the last former Soviet republic to establish formal ties with WTO. Its neighboring countries like Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan or Kyrgyz Republic, Tajikistan and Afghanistan have already acceded to the WTO, while Uzbekistan has been in and off negotiations on WTO accession since 1994. Next question now. Where is the Secretariat of Global Fund for AIDS, TB and Malaria? So the Secretariat of Global Fund for AIDS, TB and Malaria is located in Geneva in Switzerland. So here A is the right answer, and it is an international financing and partnership organization that aims to attract and invest additional resources to end epidemics of HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria. It began its operation in 2002, and the Global Fund is a financial mechanism rather than implementing agency for it, and programs are implemented by the country themselves by their ministries of health, and the Global Fund Secretariat only monitors this program. Next question now. Consider the following statements about radar technology. Radar stands for light detection and ranging. This statement is correct. LiDAR was first used on a spacecraft during the Chandrayaan mission in 2010. This statement is incorrect. It was first used by NASA in its Apollo mission and not in Chandrayaan mission in 2010. So here first is right, second is wrong. LiDAR sensor is also important component in self-driving cars, that is cars without drivers. This statement is also correct. So here first and third statement is correct. So C is the right answer. And LiDAR is basically a remote sensing method that uses light in the form of a pulsed laser to measure distances to the subject. These light pulses, when combined with other data, generate accurate and high resolution three-dimensional information of the object. This LiDAR technology is mostly used for ground-based surveys. And LiDAR was first used on a spacecraft during the Apollo 15 mission in 1971 itself, when astronauts from US mapped the surface of Moon. And apart from aerial surveys, LiDAR sensors is most important component in self-driving cars as well. This provide 360 degree of visibility and accurate depth information. And LiDAR technology is important for us because recently a space startup called as Zigantar has developed India's first in-orbit space debris monitoring and tracking system. This system will be based on LiDAR technology. This system will help to provide global real-time Earth surveillance. This will provide the global real-time Earth surveillance by using nano satellites which will be placed in low Earth orbit. What is low Earth orbit? See, we have classified the orbits into different to place our satellites for different purposes. For instance, it has been categorized into three. The first one is called as low Earth orbit based on height from Earth's surface. So though the classification of low Earth orbit differs with different space agencies, but the generally accepted height of low Earth orbit is up to 1000 to 1500 km, and beyond 1000 to 1500 km lies the MEO, that is middle Earth orbit, and middle Earth orbit ends at or below the geosynchronous orbit. So middle Earth orbit lies after 1000 to 1500 km and it ends below the geosynchronous Earth orbit. While after the geosynchronous Earth orbit or beyond 36,000 km from Earth lies HEO or higher Earth orbit. So any satellite launched to other planets, let's say recently a planet was launched by China called as Tianwen-1, which was launched to Mars. It is launched in HEO, that is higher Earth orbit. It is beyond the 36,000 km from the Earth. And the system will help international space agencies to track, map space debris, and this will aid to minimize the major threats of future space exploration. And now only one day is left to utilize and take benefit of this offer. The offer is for discount price for monthly current affairs test series. The discounted price is ₹70 for 1 month subscription and it will be valid only till 26th of July. The second plan, which is for 3 months, has discounted price of ₹200. Again it will be valid only till 26th of July. After that the prices will be back to the normal, that is ₹219 for 3 months. And for 6 months the price has been reduced substantially to ₹380 and again it will be valid only till 26th of July. So do it hurry, only one day is left for the offer. Utilize this benefit, and after you subscribing to either of the plan of your own choice, don't forget to mail your confirmation at this email ID, that is pointstudent2020@gmail.com. I will share the link of subscription in the comment section as well as in the description box. Tap on the link which I will provide in the comment section as well as in the description box will have discounted price. So just type the price there and subscribe to either of the plan. And those who are new to the channel and are unaware of this monthly current affairs test series, let me tell you that this test is organized for each month by 15th of every month, and it includes test for 7 subjects, which will include all the topics which are in news in that month for polity, economy, international news, science and technology, environment, history and culture, and other small subtopics will be covered in miscellaneous subjects. So do it hurry, don't miss the opportunity. Today is the last day for this offer. Let's move ahead now. The fourth question. Which of the following is true for Tianwen-1? Let's see. It is the first successful Mars probe of China. This statement is correct. And it will travel 7 months to reach Mars, covering 400 million kilometers. This statement is also correct. And the space was carried by China's biggest Long March 5 rocket. This statement is also correct. So here all of these statements are correct. So D is the right answer here. And Tianwen spacecraft was launched to fulfill 3 objectives, that are to orbit the red planet for comprehensive observation, to land on Martian soil and send a rover to roam around the landing site, and to conduct investigations on geological structure, atmosphere, environment, soil and water of Mars. And Long March 5 rocket is the fastest rocket in China's history. It has achieved a speed of 11.2 km per second, which is the escape velocity. You must have studied in your 10th class what is escape velocity. It is the velocity at which if we throw anything from the earth, it will never come back to the earth. And there are 3 parts in this probe. They are orbiter, lander and rover. Orbiter will stay in the Martian orbit and it will just orbit around the Mars orbit. It will perform scientific operation and it will send relay signals, while lander will help to land on the Mars surface, and from this lander rover will come out and rover will roam over the Martian soil and will do the study. The rover will have 6 wheels and 4 solar panels. Solar panels will help it to sustain for longer as it will be charged automatically by solar energy, and it weighs about 200 kg. The rover is to work for 3 months on the planet. And earlier China has tried to send an exploratory probe to Mars called as Yonghe-1 in 2011. However, this attempt was completely failed and it was declared lost. And till now only United States has successfully landed a spacecraft on Martian soil, and it has done it for 8 successful times since 1976. And at present NASA's InSight and Curiosity rover still operates, while other satellites of NASA European space agencies, and India's Mangalyaan still orbits the Mars. Next question now. Consider the following statement about Indian Scholastic Assessment Test, in short called as INSAT. Let's see. It is an exam for grant of scholarships and admission to foreign students for studying in selected Indian universities for undergraduate as well as postgraduate programs. The statement is correct. And Union HRD Ministry is conducting the first ever INSAT test 2020 under its Study in India program. This statement is also correct. So here C is the right answer. And nearly 5,000 candidates from various African and South Asian countries appeared for this first ever exam, which was conducted in proctored internet mode by National Testing Agency. Next question now. Vriksharopan Abhiyan in news recently is being organized by, so it is being organized by Ministry of Coal. So here C is the right answer. And it is being organized by Ministry of Coal, involving all coal, lignite public sector undertakings, during which large scale plantations would be carried out in mines, colonies, offices and other suitable areas of coal and lignite public sector undertakings. And it was in news because Union Home Minister has launched tree plantation campaign called as Vriksharopan Abhiyan of the Ministry of Coal in the presence of Union Minister of Coal in Delhi. Next question now. Consider the following statements about recent amendment in General Financial Rules 2017. Let's see. It aims to enable imposition of restrictions on bidder from countries which share a land border with India on grounds of national security. See what is happening. Since China is well aware that now many countries including India are alerted of its ambitions to take over many of the companies of other countries by buying the shares or large amount of shares of other countries. So it engages with other countries indirectly via their neighbors. So China is doing same with India. It engages into Indian economy and bidding into Indian companies via its neighbor, including companies of Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka or others. So India is well aware of this move of China. So now India has brought an amendment in General Financial Rules. This will enable to impose restrictions on the bidders coming from these neighboring countries. And it has been brought by Department of Expenditure. This statement is also correct. So here both of these statements are correct again. So C is the right answer. And any bidder from land boundary countries will be eligible to bid in any procurement, whether of goods, services or works, only if the bidder is registered with the competent authority. What is this competent authority? So the registration committee constituted by Department for Promotion and Industry and Internal Trade will be the competent authority to grant registration to these bidders. And political and security clearance is also mandatory from Ministry of External Affairs and Ministry of Home Affairs. And it does not apply to procurement by private sector and procurement of medical supplies for containment of COVID-19 till 31st of December 2020. Next question now. Consider the following statements about pied cuckoo bird. The bird is primarily arboreal. What does the arboreal means? It means that they mostly lives on trees. This statement is correct. It is found in Africa and Asia. This is also correct. Its IUCN status is vulnerable. No, this is wrong. Its IUCN status is least concerned and not vulnerable. So here only first and second statements are correct. So C is the right answer. And this is how this bird looks like. And it is a brood parasite, which means that they lay its eggs in nests that belong to other birds. And it is one of the few species that come to India during the summer, while most of the other migratory species come to India in winter. In central and northern parts of country, these cuckoos are migratory, while in southern India they are found as resident birds and not migratory. The bird was in news because Wildlife Institute of India has decided to study the migration of pied cuckoo bird by tagging the bird with satellite transmitters. And this is the scientific name of this bird, called as Jacobin cuckoo or chatak. The name is quite unique, that's why I have included this name as well, Jacobin cuckoo or chatak. The study will be conducted along with the Indian Institute of Remote Sensing and the Department of Biotechnology. The study is the first in the country to seek and trace the migratory routes of this pied cuckoo and it is part of large project called as Indian Bioresource Information Network funded by Department of Bio and Technology. And if you have not liked the video yet, do like it and do share the video with your friends and loved ones. Next question now. Which section of Representation of Peoples Act 1951 empowers Election Commission to extend completion of elections? So it is section 153 which empowers Election Commission to extend election. However, there are some restrictions to use this section. What are those? Election Commission can extend the time for completion of election, but such extension should not go beyond the date of normal dissolution of Lok Sabha or the Assembly. See, normally what happens? Election Commission has to conduct elections 6 months before the normal end of tenure of Lok Sabha or the State Legislative Assembly. The normal tenure of these bodies is 5 years, so it has to conduct elections before completion of or 6 months before completion of this tenure of 5 years. However, with the use of section 153, Election Commission can extend the duration of conducting election or completion of election, but again the extension should not go beyond the completion of the end of tenure of these bodies. That is to say that here it get time to at least extend the election for 6 months, because in normal circumstances it had to conduct elections 6 months before the completion of this term, but here it get chance to complete at least till the end of the tenure of these bodies. But power under section 153 can be exercised only and only after an election is scheduled or election schedule has been notified. If the election schedule is not notified yet, then normally it has to act under Article 324. And Article 324 what provides? It provides that Election Commission has to inform the government first of its inability to hold polls on time. So government then, in consultation with President, can decide on the future course. It can decide that whether to impose President rule in that state or to allow the Chief Minister at present to continue for 6 more months. So entire scenario and discussion is in context of Bihar State Assembly election, because elections are due in the month of October-November. So political parties who are in opposition are saying Election Commission to extend the duration of elections as because of fear of COVID-19. So I hope you find the video useful. Do like and share, subscribe and press the bell icon. Wait for the upcoming video. Until then, stay safe and thanks for watching.